Health benefits and risks of drinking coffee. A cup of coffee in the morning may provide more than just an energy boost. Health benefits, say some researchers, may range from helping prevent diabetes to lowering the risk of liver disease. With over 400 billion cups of coffee thought to be consumed every year, coffee is one of the world's most popular drinks. But is it really healthful, or are there also risks? The potential health benefits associated with drinking coffee include protecting against type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, liver cancer, and promoting a healthy heart. 3. 1. Coffee and diabetes. A splash of coffee. Coffee may help protect against type 2 diabetes. Researchers at UCLA identified that drinking coffee increases plasma levels of the protein sex hormone-binding globulin, SHBG. SHBG controls the biological activity of the body's sex hormones, testosterone and estrogen, which play a role in the development of type 2 diabetes. 4. Dr. Simin Liu, one of the authors of the study, said that an inverse association exists between coffee consumption and risk for type 2 diabetes. Increased coffee consumption may reduce risk of type 2 diabetes, the Harvard School of Public Health, HSPH, researchers gathered data from 3 studies. In these studies, the diets of the participants were evaluated using questionnaires every 4 years, with participants who reported having type 2 diabetes filling out additional questionnaires. In total, 7,269 study participants had type 2 diabetes. The researchers found that the participants who increased their coffee intake by more than 1 cup a day, on average, an increase of 1.69 cups per day, over a 4-year period had an 11% lower type 2 diabetes risk over the subsequent 4 years, compared with people who did not change their intake. 2. Coffee and Parkinson's disease. Researchers in the U.S. carried out a study that assessed the link between coffee consumption and Parkinson's disease risk. The authors of the study concluded that higher coffee and caffeine intake is associated with a significantly lower incidence of Parkinson's disease. 5. In addition, caffeine in coffee may help control movement in people suffering from Parkinson's, according to a study conducted at the Research Institute of the McGill University Health Center, RIMUHC, that was published in the journal Neurology. 6. 3. Coffee and liver cancer. Italian researchers found that coffee consumption lowers the risk of liver cancer by about 40%. In addition, some of the results suggest that if you drink 3 cups a day, the risks are reduced by more than 50%. 7. The lead author of the study, Dr. Carlo La Vecchia, from Milan's Istituto di Ricerche Farmacologiche Mario Negri, said our research confirms past claims that coffee is good for your health and particularly the liver. 4. Coffee and liver disease. Regular consumption of coffee is linked to a reduced risk of primary sclerosing cholangitis, PSC, a rare autoimmune disease of the bile ducts in the liver. 8. In addition, coffee consumption can lower the incidence of cirrhosis of the liver for alcohol drinkers by 22%, according to a study at the Kaiser Permanente Medical Care Program, California, USA. The authors of the study concluded that the results support the hypothesis that there is an ingredient in coffee that protects against cirrhosis, especially alcoholic cirrhosis. 9. Research published in the journal Hepatology in April 2014, suggested that drinking coffee is linked to a decreased liver cirrhosis death risk. The researchers suggested that drinking 2 or more cups of coffee every day can reduce the risk of death from liver cirrhosis by 66%. 16. A study published in the journal Hepatology indicates that drinking decaf coffee also lowers liver enzyme levels, suggesting the benefits are not linked to caffeine content. 5. Coffee and heart health. Researchers at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, BIDMC, and Harvard School of Public Health, concluded that drinking coffee in moderation protects against heart failure. They defined in moderation as 2 European cups, equivalent to 2 8-ounce American servings, per day. 10. People who drank 4 European cups on a daily basis had an 11% lower risk of heart failure, compared to those who did not. The authors stressed that their results did show a possible benefit, but like with so many other things we consume, it really depends on how much coffee you drink. Other possible benefits. Studies have suggested that coffee may help prevent premature death, reduce mortality, protect against cirrhosis, reduce the risk of multiple sclerosis, protect against colorectal cancer. Some of these claims need to be confirmed by further research. What does caffeine do to your body? What does caffeine do to your body? Caffeine is found not only in coffee. Find out more about the benefits and risk of caffeine. Read now. Nutrition. Regular black coffee, without milk or cream, has a very low calorie count. A typical cup of black coffee only contains around 2 calories. However, if you add sugar and milk, the calorie count can shoot up. Antioxidants. Coffee is the #1 source of antioxidants in the U.S., according to researchers at the University of Scranton. Joe Vinson, Ph.D., lead author of the study, said that Americans get more of their antioxidants from coffee than any other dietary source. Nothing else comes close to. The authors of the study emphasize moderation, stating that only 1 or 2 cups a day appear to be beneficial. Caffeinated and decaffeinated versions provided nearly the same levels of antioxidants. Several studies have linked regular caffeine intake to extra heartbeats, a common occurrence that can nevertheless lead to heart problems, stroke, and death in rare cases. However, a study looking at long-term caffeine consumption found that regular caffeine consumption is not linked to extra heartbeats. Risks. Cups of coffee. Coffee, is it helpful or harmful? Drinking too much coffee can result in some very unpleasant adverse effects. According to a study by researchers at the University of Oklahoma, caffeine can cause anxiety symptoms in normal individuals, especially in vulnerable patients, like those with pre-existing anxiety disorders. 13. In addition, caffeine use is also associated with symptoms of depression due to either a self-medication theory, or a theory that caffeine itself causes changes in mood. Women who plan on becoming pregnant should be cautious. Researchers from the University of Nevada School of Medicine reported in the British Journal of Pharmacology that regular coffee may reduce a woman's chances of becoming pregnant. 14. Medical News Today examined the positive and negative effects of drinking coffee in an article in July 2012, Drinking Coffee, More Good Than Harm? Other possible risks include having a negative effect on cardiovascular health in young adults with mild hypertension. Disrupting the body clock. In one study, researchers detected the presence of mycotoxins in commercial coffee samples, leading to concerns about potential public health risks. If you want to buy coffee, then there is an excellent selection online with thousands of customer reviews. Coffee can help people feel less tired and increase energy levels. 1, 2. That's because it contains a stimulant called caffeine, the most commonly consumed psychoactive substance in the world. 3. After you drink coffee, the caffeine is absorbed into your bloodstream. From there, it travels to your brain. 4. In the brain, caffeine blocks the inhibitory neurotransmitter adenosine. When this happens, the amount of other neurotransmitters like norepinephrine and dopamine increases, leading to enhanced firing of neurons. 5, 6. Many controlled studies in humans show that coffee improves various aspects of brain function including memory, mood, vigilance, energy levels, reaction times and general mental function. 7, 8, 9. Summary. Caffeine blocks an inhibitory neurotransmitter in your brain, which causes a stimulant effect. This improves energy levels, mood, and various aspects of brain function. 2. Can help you burn fat. Caffeine is found in almost every commercial fat-burning supplement, and for good reason. It's one of the few natural substances proven to aid fat burning. Several studies show that caffeine can boost your metabolic rate by 11%, 10, 11. Other studies indicate that caffeine can specifically increase fat burning by as much as 10% in obese individuals and 29% in lean people. 12. However, it's possible that these effects diminish in long-term coffee drinkers. Summary. Several studies show that caffeine can increase fat burning and boost your metabolic rate. 3. Can drastically improve physical performance. Caffeine stimulates your nervous system, signaling fat cells to break down body fat. 13, 14. But it also increases epinephrine, adrenaline, levels in your blood. 15, 16. This is the fight or flight hormone, which prepares your body for intense physical exertion. Caffeine breaks down body fat, making free fatty acids available as fuel. 17, 18. Given these effects, it's unsurprising that caffeine can improve physical performance by 11–12%, on average, 20–29. Therefore, it makes sense to have a strong cup of coffee about half an hour before you head to the gym. Summary. Caffeine can increase adrenaline levels and release fatty acids from your fat tissues. It also leads to significant improvements in physical performance. 4. Contains essential nutrients. Many of the nutrients in coffee beans make their way into the finished brewed coffee. A single cup of coffee contains 21. Riboflavin, vitamin B2 11% of the reference daily intake, RDI. Pantothenic acid, vitamin B5 6% of the RDI. Manganese and potassium, 3% of the RDI. Magnesium and niacin, vitamin B3 2% of the RDI. Though this may not seem like a big deal, most people enjoy several cups per day, allowing these amounts to quickly add up. Summary. Coffee contains several important nutrients, including riboflavin, pantothenic acid, manganese, potassium, magnesium, and niacin. 5. May lower your risk of type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is a major health problem, currently affecting millions of people worldwide. It's characterized by elevated blood sugar levels caused by insulin resistance or a reduced ability to secrete insulin. For some reason, coffee drinkers have a significantly reduced risk of type 2 diabetes. Studies observe that people who drink the most coffee have a 23–50% lower risk of getting this disease. One study showed a reduction as high as 67%, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. According to a large review of 18 studies in a total of 457,922 people, each daily cup of coffee was associated with a 7% reduced risk of type 2 diabetes. 27. Summary. Several observational studies show that coffee drinkers have a much lower risk of type 2 diabetes, a serious condition that affects millions of people worldwide. 6. May protect you from Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Alzheimer's disease is the most common neurodegenerative disease and the leading cause of dementia worldwide. This condition usually affects people over 65, and there is no known cure. However, there are several things you can do to prevent the disease from occurring in the first place. This includes the usual suspects like eating healthy and exercising, but drinking coffee may be incredibly effective as well. Several studies show that coffee drinkers have up to a 65% lower risk of Alzheimer's disease. 28, 29. Summary. Coffee drinkers have a much lower risk of getting Alzheimer's disease, which is a leading cause of dementia worldwide. 7. May lower your risk of Parkinson's. Parkinson's disease is the second most common neurodegenerative condition, right behind Alzheimer's. It's caused by the death of dopamine-generating neurons in your brain. As with Alzheimer's, there is no known cure, which makes it that much more important to focus on prevention. Studies show that coffee drinkers have a much lower risk of Parkinson's disease, with a risk reduction ranging from 30–60%, 30, 31, 32, 33. In this case, the caffeine itself appears to be beneficial, as people who drink decaf don't have a lower risk of Parkinson's. 34. Summary. Coffee drinkers have up to a 60% lower risk of getting Parkinson's disease, the second most common neurodegenerative disorder. 8. May protect your liver. Your liver is an amazing organ that carries out hundreds of important functions. Several common diseases primarily affect the liver, including hepatitis, fatty liver disease and many others. Many of these conditions can lead to cirrhosis, in which your liver is largely replaced by scar tissue. Interestingly, coffee may protect against cirrhosis. People who drink 4 or more cups per day have up to an 80% lower risk.